and welcome to the Lord's Prayer Ministries podcast. This is episode number 4. I hope you are enjoying some of these episodes. There will be a max of 5, so there will be one last one. And then I will kind of take a break from doing these. And when I do these, I kind of want to do it in like a series of back-to-back episodes. So listen to the others. I really pray that these are encouraging you during a season that you are in. And without further ado, let's get started on this topic. So, even if, and I want to just back up and talk about me watching a movie called Mercy Me. Actually, was the group, but I Can Only Imagine is the name of the movie. So I watched I Can Only Imagine 1, but this is I Can Only Imagine Part 2. And during that, it shows just like a kind of another series or another perspective of after, he got all this great, I Can Only Imagine went viral. The song was great. There was still some struggles, right? And so it shows a nice part of his life. I forget the guy's name, but I know he's on the Mercy Me band, and he is traveling. I don't want to tell you all the movie, but this is what the song and like the heart of the movie kind of leads to this song called Even If. And I'm going to read a little bit of that song, but before I do, I want to share just after that, watching the movie I Can Only Imagine Part 2, literally, I would say that weekend something happened, and it was so interesting, like the timing of how God does things or how he allows things to happen. So I recently moved, and I had a need to get really important documents for personal reasons, and it was in my safe, and I noticed that I couldn't find my key, the key to my safe. I'm like looking everywhere. I'm like, I cannot find this key. And I looked literally like up and down the house, and I could not find the key to the safe, and I did not remember like where I put it. And so I'm trying to like contact, Amazon and all these people, just to find out how to get this key or get a copy of the key, get a keysmith or locksmith, whatever you call them. And apparently they were like, yeah, we don't do safes. So I'm literally like, I have an appointment on Thursday to do some important things, and now I don't know how I'm going to get in the safe to get what I need. And so as I'm looking, I'm praying, and I remember even that night, I was like, oh my goodness, I think it was like a Wednesday, and I had an appointment Thursday afternoon. And I was like, I need these documents, Lord. I'm just like so kind of anxiety and worry started coming up and festering. And I was just like, Lord, I just can't go to bed like this. I cannot go to bed like this. And so I just started praying and worshiping, crying out to the Lord. And I went to bed. But mind you, it still was kind of in the back of my mind. So I woke up and I ended up looking for the key again, like wee hours in the morning, and couldn't find the key. So I was calling different locksmiths, asking them, hey, can you help me open this lock for this for the safe? And so, like, again, all of the locksmiths are saying no, they cannot. And I ended up getting one locksmith said no, but they have someone they know that can. So I ended up calling this person again, like early in the morning. He's like, yeah, I can do it. And so I'm like, oh my goodness. So there was one person that said yes, but it was going to be like really expensive. And I was like, absolutely not. I am not paying this much money to open this safe. So this guy was reasonable. I actually ended up talking him down lower, and he said yes. He's like, meet me here. It seemed like almost like, a drug deal, although it wasn't, but he's like, meet me here at this time, and bring your safe and all that. So I did. And, he was, lo and behold, he was able to open the safe. And I was so grateful. I told him, thank you. And he's like, I'm not going to look in it. When you get home, open it and all that. So get home. I'm so happy. I opened this safe, and y'all, the documents I needed, only one of the three were in that safe. And at this point, I'm like, oh my goodness, where are these documents? I'm literally trying to find these things. And I just like, I don't know where they are. And I start getting frustrated. I'm just like, Lord, why am I going through this? What is happening? Like, is this an attack of the enemy? Like, what are you trying to teach me? Like, what's going on? And so I ended up going into my car, because I don't know why, but something like, I just went into my car, my glove compartment, and because I was like, maybe, looking for these other documents. I don't know. I'm looking everywhere now. I unzip a part of my something in my glove compartment. I unzip a part of this item in my glove compartment, and my keys for the safe were in there. And I was like, oh my goodness, this whole time I paid a locksmith, all of this, and like all of a sudden I find the keys. So, it just got to the point of like just me like, I'm like, what is happening? Why is this happening? What's going on? And I'm getting very frustrated at this point. But like keeping my composure. And it's funny, like, to back up that night, before I went to bed, after worshiping, before I went to bed, I remember like thinking, the Lord telling me like, just keep your composure, and also just thinking like, let's say if I have a husband or whoever, he wouldn't want to see me frantic looking for something. Like, he would want to see me in a posture and a composure of order and sanity, so I don't know how that and why that came up, but it did. But now fast forwarding to finding the keys in that little zipper part in my glove compartment. Now I, at this point, was like, okay, whatever. I found it, but what am I going to do with this? I still need these items. I cannot find it. I'm going to have this appointment. Because I found that thing with the zipper, for some reason, I put that in my purse, like the item where I found my keys. And mind you, I'll tell you what it is. It was a wallet. And so it's like, I normally don't use this wallet, but I'll put it in my purse. So I put that in my purse, and then I just went on my day. And later that day, I was like, I have to go. And I found some alternative things to use to go to do what I needed to do. I had two places to go. The first one, it was funny because the first one, the one of the three items I found in my safe, I didn't even need that, which I thought I did. I was supposed to need it, but I didn't even really need that. Honestly, I had everything I needed to get what I needed there. And then the second place I went, it was funny because I was the last person to leave that place because I went late. I got there late because I had to go to one place first. When I ended up going up to talk to the person about the documents, everything I needed while I was there, they were like, you need this, 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 this. I was like, okay, I have this, I have this, I have this. They're like, okay. And then out of nowhere, they say, okay, this is going to be this amount, but it has to be cash. I literally was like, what? Okay, knowing most people, like, yes, we live in a cashless society. So for me, it was like, what? Cash? I don't carry cash. I don't have any cash. What do you mean it needs to be cash? So she says, well, there's an ATM right there. And I was like, I don't even know if I have an ATM card. And then I thought in my glove compartment, when I found that key for the safe, I remembered my debit card was in there. And I was like, wow. Randomly, I put that in my purse, just out of the blue. I normally don't use this wallet, like I said, and these are just random chances, I would say, quote unquote, put it in my purse, and I had the debit card in there to use the ATM to get cash. And I asked her, I said, I'm like, do people always have cash? What happens if they don't have cash? She's like, they would have to do this all over again. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, no, spending an hour plus there, I was like, I'm so grateful to the Lord for this. And all of that to say, what I've learned, back to the even if, because that night, remember I said that night, I cried out to the Lord before I went to bed, but I still woke up early and all looking. But I believe the Lord was showing me something. And this is what the Lord does during these times when you're like, why is this happening? This is like, it's like a cascade of like events and snowballing. It's like, oh my goodness. And I remember that night actually before I cried out to the Lord and then I went to bed, that song came into my mind, even if. And I played that song over and over. And I know this is a small thing. This is not like everyone, you're probably like, oh, there's more fish to fry. There's bigger fish to fry. Let me tell you this. God cares about the small. He cares about the large things. And I'm going to read a little bit of these lyrics called Even If by Mercy Me. And the chorus goes, I know you're able and I know you can save through the fire with your mighty hand. But even if you don't, my hope is you alone. I know the sorrow and I know the hurt would all go away if you just say the word. But even if you don't, my hope is in you, Lord. And that has stuck with me that night, that even if the Lord doesn't help me find what I needed to find, although I was praying, Lord, help me to find this. And mind you, I still didn't find some things. But the thing is, it's like, even if, it's okay, Sharita, it's okay. Things will move on. Things are not, it's not the end of the world. Even if you don't help me, Lord, find this, because I feel like some of us were praying these prayers and they're not getting answered. And we're thinking, Lord, why aren't you answering these prayers? But the thing about it is you have to shift your focus onto him, onto Jesus Christ alone. He is Lord and Savior of our life, and allow him to guide you and say, even if you do not do this, Lord, even if you decide against doing this, Lord, or even if you delay doing this, Lord, I will still trust you. I will still worship you. I will still live my life to honor and to serve you, Lord God, because you are worthy. You are deserving of our praise, because you are worthy and deserving of our life. So I just want to encourage someone today. What is your even if? What is that moment in time where you have done everything you can? Maybe you didn't go to the Lord first, which we should always do, but maybe you had all these things that you tried to do on your own. You're praying, you're asking the Lord to help you with these things, but he hasn't yet. Will you understand that even if he doesn't, will you understand that you trust him, you depend on him? Ask the Lord to give you that understanding, give you that mindset, give you that knowledge and wisdom to know that he is your source of everything and he has everything planned out perfectly. And he's doing this to build character. He's doing this to show that I am he. Depend on me. All right. I bless, I pray many blessings over you all. And you know what? I just want to sing the chorus. I don't really know how the melody goes, so forgive me if it's not perfect, but it goes, I know you're able and I know you can save through the fire with your mighty hand. But even if you don't, my hope's in you alone. I know the sorrow and I know the hurt would all go away if you just say the word. But even if you don't, my hope's in you alone. I know that wasn't perfect, but that's just, I just wanted to show you all that is what we should be doing, is singing melodies and praises. God bless you and have a blessed day.